everybody, welcome back to Epic Beauty Fail. I'm Jessica, and on today's video I'm going to be doing a video that I saw at least two other YouTubers film. I saw this on Jambeauty89 and EmilyNoel. They did a 10 makeup products that if all of their makeup collection was destroyed, what they would go out and buy like immediately. Now, to be perfectly honest, if all my makeup was destroyed, I probably wouldn't go out and buy anything. I do get my beauty boxes, so I would rebuild some of my collection there, and over time I would build it up. But for me, I don't wear makeup every day, so I don't need to go out and buy something like if all my makeup got destroyed. What I would probably do is, like I said, get beauty boxes, buy stuff at sales, that sort of stuff. I don't really necessarily like paying full price for makeup. I know that's probably kind of weird. I'm sure nobody really likes to pay full price for makeup, but today I am focusing on high-end products, and I decided that I'm going to split it up into two, because if I just picked my top 10, it would probably all be high-end. And that's not to knock any drugstore price products, because there's a lot of them that I really enjoy. But my favorite products are high-end products, and I'll explain why as I go through them. I am going to do a second video, which might already be posted. If it's already posted, I will link that in the description below, and maybe throw a card up here if I can remember. The cards always, I never remember to do that. But anyway, I will definitely link you to that video as soon as it's up, if it's not up already. But I wanted to do two videos because I know, like, EmilyNoel really focused in on trying to do drugstore, I think. She did a couple of high-end products, if I remember the video correctly. But she did try to focus in on doing mostly drugstore. And if I'm perfectly honest, my favorite products really are more on the high-end side. There are a few. When you see the drugstore video, you will see that there are a few in there that I would choose over the high-end ones, though. So, all right. One thing that I am going to do is I am not going to count brushes or sponges or anything like that. Actually, I'm not using any sponges today, but I'm not going to count brushes in my 10 products. I'm just counting makeup products. I think EmilyNoel actually counted brushes in her products, if I remember. I watched it like 2 weeks ago. Sorry. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and this video is not sponsored by anybody at all, obviously, but I wanted to throw that out there. Because the first three products I'm going to use are all from the same company. I think everything else is individual, like separate, but the first three products I'm going to use are from the same company. So if you've seen any of my first impressions for foundations, my 5 days of foundation that I do every month, you know that I typically will put two different primers on my face. I will typically do the It Cosmetics number 50 serum primer on the outside of my face, and then on my T-zone I will put, and in some of my trouble areas, I will put the Benefit Professional. But I only wanted to pick one primer for this, so I'm going to go with this one. I do like this one. It has a tendency to get lost in my collection, but I do actually really like this one, especially with the foundation that I'm going to be using. So this is the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. This does like fill in pores and that sort of thing. So I do like this. I've used it before with the foundation that I'm going to use, and I think they go well together. So this is going to be my primer that I'm going to start with. It is definitely like a silicone-y primer, so if you don't like that, you wouldn't like it, but it is one of my favorites. Like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm trying to limit to 10, I probably would have picked the other two that you typically see me use. But this is one that if I'm using just one primer, I will use this. I have traveled with that before, taken it with me on trips to use when I travel. So I figure if I'm going to take it on travel, which I don't always take makeup on travel, but if I'm going to and I choose that one, it's got to be one of the ones that I enjoy the most. And I would tell you this actually has a heavier feel to it than like the Professional does. Okay, for my foundation, I have a couple of high-end foundations that I do really enjoy. I like lighter weight foundations, and I tried to pick one that I have continuously used over and over again. I found a couple during 5 Days of Foundation that I do like, but this one is one that I've used repeatedly. Again, I take it on travel with me, and I've used it when I've traveled. So I do really enjoy this one. I like how it lays on my skin. I like how it looks on me, and that's the look that I like. So this is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Liquid Definition Liquid Makeup in the shade 0.5, which I believe is their lightest shade. I probably could go like another shade lighter than this, but they don't have another shade lighter than this. And I have used these together before, so I have no problems with this combination. This is definitely a liquidy foundation, so if you don't like that, you probably wouldn't like this foundation. But it is one of my favorites. I like this one, and I like the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea liquid foundation. But then some of the ones that I found during 5 Days of Foundation are like the Peach Perfect one. I don't like the shade of that, but I love the fact that it doesn't transfer. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on. So I do like how that lays on my skin. It's very liquidy, it's very lightweight, which is what I prefer. I like my skin to look like skin. It does look a little bit light right now in the camera, but from past experience with it, it will darken a little bit on my skin. So I find that this is actually a really good shade match for me. It works really well. Okay, if you watch any of my videos, you know that I'm not a huge fan of concealer, but I think if push came to shove, I would want to have at least one concealer in my collection, just in the cases where I have a blemish that's really hard to cover. Now, I do have one right here, and my foundation seemed to cover it pretty well, but I am going to put just a dab of concealer on there. I am going to use concealer on my under eyes, which, again, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I don't really use that very often. This is the only concealer that I will use on my under eyes, and I feel like it doesn't get too crepey or dry. So this is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, the Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. Again, this is just the only one that I really will use under my eyes, and I don't feel like it looks too bad. I still haven't tried a lot of concealers because I know that they don't normally work with my under eyes, because like right now I don't think my under eyes look too bad. But as soon as I put concealer on them, the concealer usually falls into every single small little line, and it makes them look very old. And I would say it even makes me look older than my 39 years. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on. This is in the shade Fair Neutral. I'm just going to put a dab on that blemish, and then I'm just going to put a little bit on my under eyes. Okay. And I'm a brush girl. I prefer to use a brush over a sponge. There are certain times where I do use a sponge, but my preference is a brush. So I'm going to use this IT Cosmetics brush, and I'm going to bring this up onto my eyelid too. Actually, I might use that a little bit later. I do not have an eyelid primer, so I'm going to be using my concealer as an eyelid primer. And if push came to shove, I would probably actually use buy an eyelid primer before a concealer, but that would be like the concealer would probably be my 11th product. Okay, and I'm going to powder. So this is one of my favorite powders. I do have several of these. I know it's kind of a dupe for the Laura Mercier powder, and I do have that, but I have a tendency to use this one more, and I think it's just because I have a couple of backups of this one because I had gotten it on Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, but I'm not really like set on any one powder, but this is a good one. It's the Cover FX, let's see what it actually says, Perfect Setting Powder is the actual name of it. So I'm just going to use a powder brush, and I'm going to set those under eyes as well as all of my face. Okay, now that I have powdered, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face makeup before moving on to my eyes. So if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I do enjoy using like the bronzer blush highlighter, the 3-piece kits, and I actually have several of them. And I was looking through my drawer and I was like, okay, which one do I want to use? And this is one that I keep coming back to, so I decided to go with this one. This is the Tarte Park Ave Princess Contour Palette Volume 2. So it does have a bronzer contour blush highlighter, and I usually just use it as a contour. I don't really bronze up my face very often or like ever. So I'm going to go ahead and get a brush here and get some of the contour color and just contour my cheeks a little bit. Okay, that is more of a subtle highlight, but that's okay. That's what I enjoy. I am not going to do brows. I know a lot of people swear by their brow products. They need to have their brows done. Personally, of any makeup that I do, that is the very last step that I would be willing to go out and purchase something for. Although I have a whole drawer of brow products, and just from like different beauty boxes and such, and I've bought a couple as well, and probably at some point I will figure out how to do my brows well and actually do them, but for now I don't. Alright, I think I'm done with my face. I'm going to go ahead and move into my eyes. And I was looking through my palettes. I have 2 drawers of eyeshadow palettes. If I'm going to buy a bunch of stuff, that's usually what I have a tendency to draw to because of all the different colors. It makes me happy to see all the colors. And I'm sure a lot of you probably are the same way. So I do have a tendency to buy a lot of eyeshadows. Eyeshadows and lipsticks are probably the 2 things that I spend most of my money on when I'm buying products for this channel. So one of my favorite right now eyeshadow palettes, and I have a lot that I really like, but one of the ones that I'm really enjoying at this time is this one right here from Viseart. This is the Viseart Golden Hour palette, and I have a bunch of shadows that I like. I love my Too Faced palettes. I love my ABH palettes. I love my Urban Decay palettes. I mean, I love eyeshadow. That's probably the only thing. And even before I started my channel, the makeup that I would put on is eye makeup. I would go completely barefaced, no lipstick, nothing. I would put eye makeup on. I can go back through pictures, which I'm not going to do, but if I had a special event to go to and I was wearing makeup, all I was wearing was eye makeup, mascara, some eyeliner, and eyeshadow. That was it. So anyway, I am going to be using this palette right here. This is the Viseart Golden Hour palette. I do have the plastic cover on, and the only reason why I keep that is because that's the only thing that has the names on it. I think the box might have had the names as well, but I can slip this out. Again, I keep it because it does have the names on it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with the matte cream shade here, which is Honoree or Honoré. Alright, next I'm going to go into Montaigne, which is this light brown color, and I'm going to build that into my crease. Next, I'm going to go into the color Louvre, which is the red color here, and I'm going to put that just on the outer V of my eye. Next, I'm going to go into the orange shade in the center, which is Palais, P-A-L-A-I-S. I'm not French. I'm sorry. I know Viseart's a French company, but I don't speak speak French. So I'm going to put that on the inner 2/3 of my eyelid, bring it out to the red color. Okay, then I'm going to take the color Rivoli, which is this really light gold shimmer, and I'm going to pop that on my inner corner. I'm going to go ahead and before I do my lower lash line, I'm going to put some mascara on. I am using my favorite mascara of all time. You guys know this if you've watched any of my videos. It is the Benefit Roller Lash in the color black. I don't know. It's the black one. It doesn't have a color on it, but I'm going to be using this as my mascara. It is my absolute favorite, and Ulta has had it like in their last couple, in the fall, last fall, and then this spring one, they had these at 50% off on a couple of days during their 21 Days of Beauty, and I stocked up on some backups. Alright, I am going to be using an eyeliner today. I don't always use an eyeliner. I do like eyeliners. I actually have an entire drawer of eyeliners. It's not real full. I could probably actually fit it in a half a drawer with my mascaras. Between my mascaras, my brow products, and my eyeliners, I could probably fit all of that in one drawer. But I don't. I have all my eyeliners in one drawer, and then I have a second drawer with my mascaras and brow products in it. But I am going to be trying to do a wing and hopefully not messing up my makeup too bad. I'm going to be using the tattoo liner in the color Trooper from Kat Von D. I do like black eyeliner. I have a tendency to lean towards gel eyeliners, but if I'm going to do a wing, I really do need to use a liquid liner, and of the ones I've tried, which in full disclosure, I have not tried that many, but of the ones I have tried, I do like this one. So it's very expensive. It's like $20-something. You can get a mascara, and I would use a mascara way more than I would use an eyeliner. But I've had this for a long time, and it hasn't gone bad. It hasn't dried out. It's just worked really well for me. So we're going to go ahead and use this to do a winged eyeliner. Keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully I don't mess it up. All right, well, they ended up getting a little bit more dramatic than I wanted them to be. Hence the reason why I don't do winged liner very often. I'm going to go back and do my under eyes. Go back into my eyeshadow palette. I'm going to go into the color Montaigne, the brown one again, and I'm going to smudge that along my lower lash line. Okay, and then I'm going to go over that with the color Louvre, which is the red one. I'm just going to put a dab of that over top. Might be a little bit more dramatic than I wanted it to be. Yeah. That's okay. It's alright. Okay, I am going to spray my setting spray. I'm going to be using the MAC Fix Plus. This is a good setting spray, and I would definitely pick up a setting spray. Maybe not this one. Probably the drugstore one of this is what I would pick up over the MAC one. I don't know. Of the high-end ones, though, I probably like this the most. My favorite setting sprays are drugstore. So we'll go ahead and set this. And the last product I'm going to use is a lipstick. And my favorite lipstick, it's expensive. I would never have found this had it not been for another YouTuber. I actually went out and bought one of these on the recommendation of Jambeauty. But this is the NARS Audacious Lipstick, and it is in the color Anita. I just really, really like this color, and I like this formula. This is another one that I've traveled with. I actually have two of these. I do like this one a little bit better. It's a little bit more pinky, and the other one I have is a little bit more peachy. But I do really enjoy this lipstick. I enjoy the formula that is this lipstick. I'm not a huge fan of liquid lipsticks, even though I have a ton of them. Some of them are better than others, but this is probably my favorite lipstick. So of my entire lipstick drawer, this is probably my favorite. That is my entire look. So let's go back through the top 10 products that I would use or I would pick up if I was picking up high-end products if my entire collection would be wiped away. It would be, again, not sponsored by Urban Decay, but it would be the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer, the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation, the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, because you can see my eyes don't look super dry. My under eyes don't look super dry, and I can't say that for all the concealers that I have. Tarte Shape Tape is horrible on my under eyes. It does really well if I'm spot concealing, which I don't have to do a lot of anymore. I'm getting to the age where I do have blemishes, like right here, but I don't get a lot of them. So this is probably the one that I found that looks the best on my under eyes. I would pick up the Benefit Roller Lash. This is probably the first product I would buy. Of any makeup products, this is the first makeup product I would buy. I love that mascara, and I love the way my lashes look with mascara on them. The Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. The MAC Fix Plus, the Cover FX powder, some powder, probably the Cover FX powder, and then the Viseart Golden Hour palette, and the NARS lipstick, Audacious lipstick, and I would pick up one of these, the Tarte Park Avenue Princess. Again, I like so many of the products that I have. I have so many products at this point. I'm probably getting close to needing to do a declutter on some of my items. Maybe not my entire collection, but some of them I'm probably gonna have to do a declutter here soon, just because my drawers are getting full. But these are probably the top 10 products that I would pick out if I lost everything and I was looking to do a high-end look. The liner got a little bit away from me. It's a little bit more dramatic than I would have done, but I'm not an expert on liquid liner, especially not cat eyes or winged liner. So anyway, I do hope you enjoy this video. Check out the drugstore version of this if you are interested. I will link that in the description bar below if it's already posted. If it's not, I will link it as soon as it does post. And if you did like this, please give me a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already and you would like to be, please hit the red subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little bell to notify you when I do upload new videos. And if you have any comments, leave those in the comment section down below. What are your top 10 favorite high-end products that if you lost everything, you would go out and pick up? So don't forget to check out the drugstore video as well. There are some definite favorites that I have that are drugstore that are even more favorite than some of these high-end products. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next Epic Beauty Fail. Bye!